It's been a little over a year since I started using the Samsung A53 as my daily driver, and I'd like to share my thoughts on the phone, so let's get started. The A53 boasts a 6.5-inch screen. It strikes a great balance between usability and screen real estate. At this size, the phone doesn't feel bulky or cumbersome at all. It's small enough to use single-handedly, and I can easily navigate the phone with one hand. Additionally, it fits comfortably in my pocket, making it a convenient choice for daily use. While the A53's frame and rear are made out of plastic, I'm not completely sold on this choice of material. However, given that it is a mid-range phone, it's understandable. The A53 doesn't have a 3.5mm headphone jack, which I do miss from time to time. However, I've already moved on to using wireless headsets, so it's not a major issue for me anymore. Also, having an IP67 rating on a phone is a really nice addition, especially at this price range. It provides peace of mind, knowing that accidental spills or exposure to rain won't cause damage to your phone. I absolutely enjoy the stereo speakers on this phone. Whether I'm watching movies, playing games, or listening to music, the experience is much more immersive, and the speakers are pretty loud as well. The Galaxy A53's in-display fingerprint sensor is quite impressive. I mean, it may not be the fastest. There's an obvious delay in its response time. However, I have found that unlocking the phone with the sensor is much more reliable compared to other phones I've used. I believe the Galaxy A53's display is where it truly excels, as Samsung has demonstrated its mastery in this area. The Full HD AMOLED panel offers deep blacks and vibrant colors that really make the screen come alive. However, I find it disappointing that this phone lacks HDR10 support, which would have taken its display capabilities to the next level. Personally, I enjoy watching HDR content on YouTube, so I feel like this is a missed opportunity. Furthermore, the 120Hz refresh rate is impressive, but it's worth noting that it's not adaptive. This means that the display remains at 120Hz, even when the content doesn't require it, which may lead to less efficient battery usage. The display can reach up to 800 nits of brightness. Even though it is really bright outside, the screen remains legible. The Exynos 1280 chipset is the engine that powers Galaxy A53. And yes, it's an Exynos chipset. It's actually not as bad as some reviews may suggest. Of course, when compared side by side with flagship-level phones, it may not match up in terms of speed and performance. However, for everyday tasks such as web browsing, opening social media apps, and streaming videos, the phone runs perfectly smooth without any noticeable issues. The Exynos 1280 chipset is capable of handling the most popular games, with decent performance on the Galaxy A53. It's important to note that this phone isn't primarily designed for serious gamers, as some of the more demanding games may require a more capable device. That being said, the majority of games available on the Play Store can be enjoyed on this phone without any issues. The Galaxy A53 has a 4-camera setup on the back, which includes a 64-megapixel main camera, a 12-megapixel shooter for ultra-wide shots, a 5-megapixel depth sensor, and a 5-megapixel macro camera. On the front, there is a 32-megapixel sensor for taking selfies and making video calls. The 64-megapixel main camera is capable of capturing photos with plenty of detail even in challenging lighting conditions. However, the camera algorithm tends to increase saturation, resulting in photos that appear ready for social media but may seem unnatural to some users. Despite this, the main and also selfie cameras are capable and produce good photos. The A53 5G's ultra-wide-angle camera is also capable of producing consistent image quality, although it tends to be a bit softer with less detail. Another drawback is that it doesn't perform as well in low-light conditions as the primary camera. While the macro camera on the A53 5G may not be of much use, it can still capture decent close-up shots. However, its fixed focus and poor low-light performance can limit its versatility. In some cases, it may be better to crop images from the primary camera which can capture more details in challenging lighting conditions. Recording videos on the A53, unfortunately, is far from ideal. Although it has the capability to shoot in 4K resolution, the resulting footage is often marred by shaky and unstable visuals. The only stable setting is at the lowest 1080p at 30 FPS, and the shakes get worse from there as you increase the resolution and frame rate. I even had to verify if there was any optical stabilization at all because, if there was, it clearly wasn't doing its job well. As a result, I highly recommend using a tripod or gimbal if you want to achieve smooth and stable 4K footage. One issue that has consistently frustrated me with the A53 is its unreliable GPS performance, which I've experienced since the beginning. During my initial attempt at using Google Maps for navigation, the map appeared upside down, forcing me to use the phone in an inverted position. Additionally, the phone struggles to pinpoint precise locations, a problem that I don't encounter with my other phone. As a result, it has been challenging to use location-based services such as maps and ride-sharing apps. The A53 claims to have a 2-day battery life, which many users find unrealistic given how quickly modern apps drain batteries. Enabling the Protect Battery feature, which limits the charge to 85% to increase the battery's longevity, results in me getting less than 3 hours of screen-on time, with around 20% of the battery remaining at bedtime. The A53 is compatible with 25-watt fast chargers, but keep in mind that wall chargers are not included in the box. The A53 comes equipped with Android 12 right out of the box, but after a year, it gets even better with the Android 13 and One UI 5.1 Samsung's updates. Promise of 3 years of Android OS updates and 4 years of security updates ensures that your phone will remain current and protected. Overall, the Samsung A53 is a solid mid-range phone with impressive features such as a good display and long-term software support. And if you're planning to get this one, I think it is a good time to get it now that it is heavily discounted. While the Samsung A53 is a decent phone, there are some areas where it falls short of being the best. And with that, we've come to the end of our long-term review of the Galaxy A53. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more content. Take care and see you soon.